reality and to facts. When it comes to science, to ethics, to morality, things change. And if our reasoning is sound, we should really be able to stand up and to stand apart from the crowd without fear. This is not a vote, it's not a referendum, it's not a majority decision. It's based on the facts. The volume of people who speak out against us should not really be important. Of course it is. But those people, the majority, have not done the research, they've not done the study. This is very worrying. This is very worrying territory if one's looking at things like democracy, because we really want to say that in a democracy, the majority of people will make a decision. But sometimes the majority of people do not have the experience, the expertise. They're not equipped to develop those ideas, to have an opinion, to have that opinion, to have that reasoned analysis. They can certainly judge it when the facts are presented in a coherent way. But when those facts are emerging, this is really the issue. When those facts are emerging, when new ideas are emerging, they need to be supported and nurtured, because they very rarely emerge in a completely intact and perfect way. If we are doing our job, and that job involves some form of creativity and exposure to the public, it brings us public criticism. So we should be confident that we will always attract the support of our peers and those who work with us, because there's always a pause, and that silence in that pause between something new that is presented and the point at which it is accepted, that silence is terrifying. We may be saying something that is right and reasonable, and if we do not feel the support of those around us, this can be, well, literally, it can be terrifying. If you think of the word terrifying, this is to turn somebody into earth. It's the Latin word terra. Or petrifying, which is to turn somebody into stone. It is to mute creativity. So, yes, new ideas are not always welcomed by society as a whole, but they should be encouraged and welcomed by our own peer group, our own support group. And when that isn't happening, when the people we hope will support us do not, this is worrying, and this we should find our support base, our professional support, whether this is in the arts, in science, in public life. We should find that. Now, this is really why we need to make sure that there are support structures throughout our society, and why we need to be much clearer about our respect for the psychiatric sciences, whether this is counselling, whether this is relationship guidance, whether this is the study of the way the mind works, and so on. All of these things are of value, as is basic friendship and basic support. Now, today is the anniversary of the birth of Galileo in 1564, but it's also the anniversary of the death of Caroline Flack. I think these are two lives that were both changed by the pressures of the opinions of others. Um, and what is it? That lovely line in Bambi where Thumper says, "If you haven't got anything nice to say, then don't say it at all." Um, and that should be that's really quite good guidance. Um, and I was horrified last year by the death of Caroline Flack, um, and I was horrified by the pressures which had been put on her and uh, the complete lack of support that she got from an industry that she should have been able to rely on. And there have certainly been people who have done far worse than she did, who are in public life, who received um, a lot of support from the industry. Um, so, we've got to make sure that support is robust in the arts, in the sciences, in university, in schools, and where people are perhaps doing something which is unusual or new, um, that they find that space to create, because without creation, we are frankly nothing, and our society will stultify and decay without creation, without the new. We need the new, and we need people who are brave enough and feel supported enough to go out there and do something new. And it's often in those throwaway moments that real creation is made. The ephemeral, the incidental. Not everybody sets out to create something great. Some people just produce a vacuum cleaner. But the waste of today is the history of tomorrow, and we shouldn't be dismissive of what doesn't seem important, in the same way we shouldn't be dismissive of what is popular. So simply because something is popular doesn't make it unnecessary or bad. Popular can be good too. So this is really just an appeal for that we support people who are doing new things, and that, of course, at the moment would involve people who are looking into vaccines and to general support for COVID. And there's some amazing work being done, and all that needs to be encouraged. So if you're on the cutting edge, congratulations, and